Services were called to the prison shortly after 10:30 this morning. The prisoner is being assessed. And investigations are continuing into a wild brawl at Para Hills overnight. 5 people have been arrested and charged with a fray, and 2 men are in hospital with serious stab wounds. The matter is not considered random. Police say all parties are known to each other. Tropical cyclone Alfred's arrival has been delayed, but preparations continue across southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. It's expected to cross the coast very early Saturday morning, most likely between Noosa and Coolangatta. Residents are being advised to have fresh drinking water on hand before Alfred makes landfall. Gold Coast Acting Mayor Donna Gates says water is a precious commodity.
We are urging people to fill a bathtub with water. We're confident of our systems, but just in case contamination occurs during this system, we'd urge people to fill their bathtub just so that there is availability of fresh water in their home.
The United States has stopped the flow of security intelligence to Ukraine, dealing another major blow to the war-torn country. Reid Butler has the story.
The CIA pausing the sharing of crucial intelligence is a blow to Ukraine, the war-torn country already dealing with the suspension of US arms and ammunitions. Ukraine has relied on intel from the US heavily as it fought the war with Russia over the past 3 years. It is the latest strong-arm tactic from the US president. Both Donald Trump and his Ukrainian counterparts say they're close to signing a minerals deal that would see Ukraine hand over billions in natural resources to the US in exchange for ongoing support. European leaders are also now working on a peace plan with Ukraine. The goal is to present that plan to the White House in the coming days.
Inequality is at its highest point in more than 2 decades. Roger Wilkins at the Melbourne Institute carried out the survey. He says during COVID the gap narrowed, but now it's blown out again.
But then it seems like coming out of that, we've overshot in the other direction and hit a record high for inequality, and that's both because people at the top seem to recover really well in 2022, whereas incomes at the bottom went backwards.
Now turning to 5AA sport, and Australia has lost a tennis legend, Fred Stolle, dying at his home in California at the age of 86. Craig Gabriel has more.
Born in the northern Sydney suburb of Hornsby, he was a towering individual and so funny and so kind. He was champion at the French in 1965 and the US in 1966. He was a finalist at the Australian in 64 and 65, and 3 straight years he was Wimbledon finalist in 63, 64, 65. He was also world number 1.
To cricket, and Victoria is at the crease on day 1 of the Shield match against SA. They were sent into bat after we won the toss, and at tea, Victoria are 6 for 216. Both Marcus Harris and Harry Dixon out for a duck. Well, Mitch Owens can see a bright future at St Kilda, signing a long-term contract extension. The 21-year-old forward encouraged by the Saints' talented young list.
I think it's really exciting with all the younger players they've got. I think like Tejas, Toby, I think Max Hall, Darcy Wilson, Hugo Garcia, everyone goes on. But yeah, I think we can build on something really strong, and I'm really excited for what the future holds.
That's sport. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Fulham, burst water main, Henley Beach Road near Tapley's Hill Road, causing a few delays. Got urgent council works at the moment at Aldgate, that's on Strathalbyn Road near Wycombe Road. And we are slow for works at Oakland's Park, Dargner Road near Lambton Street. Busy South Road, Edwardstown, with Cameras Briar Road, Felixstowe, and Ashwin Parade at Torranceville. The best days always start with the GYG Brekkie. From big brekkie burritos to tacos and barista-made coffee, Guzmani Gomez has your brekkie sorted. Gotta love that. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, cloud clearing this afternoon, sunny tomorrow 33, Saturday sunny 36, Sunday sunny and 36 as well. Right now it's 26 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thank you, I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, special live coverage as millions along the east coast brace for Cyclone Alfred. The youth crime crackdown after 2 men were stabbed in a wild brawl at Para Hills. An Alzheimer's clue that's a big concern for women. The results are in on who really does the most housework, and food for thought, how breakfast impacts NAPLAN results. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Do you know how I liken it? The anticipation of round 1 and opening round and when the game's going to happen is when your wife has a due date and she goes over the due date. You think, could this bloody baby just come out?
How long is this going to take?
This has just wrecked the start of the season.
Funny about that,
This is awful.
The FIVEAA Sports Show.
All of our thoughts are with the residents of Queensland.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Hi, it's Wayne from Wayne Phillips Isuzu Ute. If you're in the market for a new ute or SUV, then you can't go past the award-winning Isuzu D-Max or MUX. Visit our showroom at Ranella to see our range of new and demonstrator vehicles and take one for a decent test drive. If you already own an Isuzu ute, book it in for a service into our new state-of-the-art service centre at Lonsdale. Mention this ad and you'll get a free car wash with your service. For everything Isuzu ute, think Wayne Phillips Isuzu Ute.
Discover outdoor living dreams you can touch at Stratco. Feel that fence, peruse that patio and shut that shed. Come in, see our displays and get expert advice on your next outdoor home improvement project. And for a limited time, get 20% off Stratco garages. Terms and conditions apply. So get into your local Stratco now and head into the new Stratco Richmond showroom at 249 Richmond Road, Richmond. However you bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
This March long weekend, experience more for all at the 2025 Adelaide Cup. It's on this holiday Monday, March 10, with Morphettville Racecourse transforming into South Australia's ultimate entertainment festival. Non-stop racing, fashion and live performances all day long. Tickets start from just $35, plus upgrade your day with premium hospitality packages from trackside to VIP experiences. Bring the kids because the Family Zone has a petting zoo, jungle sports, face painting and free fairy floss. Is that just for kids or for big kids too? I wouldn't mind some free fairy floss. Sounds great. Then, as the sun sets, Sneaky Sound System takes to the stage for an epic evening performance. Don't miss out. Secure your Adelaide Cup tickets now at morphettville.com.au. Gamble responsibly.
Are you looking for an accessible gym that accommodates all disabilities? A gym that focuses on fitness, health and mobility? We are Enable Fitness Centre, home to the biggest and best equipped disability exclusive gyms in South Australia. We're an NDIS provider and our gyms and facilities are all custom built, making them accessible for wheelchairs and ambulant clients with physical and intellectual disabilities. You can find us at Holden Hill, Marston and Elizabeth. Visit enablefitnesscentre.com.au for more information.
Start your caravan or motorhome journey with confidence at Camper Agent RV Supercentre. For a limited time, we're offering massive savings and 3-year extended warranty on eligible pre-owned motorhomes from Kia and Talbot. There's also great savings across our huge range of brands including Winnebago, Windsor, Corrimal and Adria. Make 2025 your best year ever. Visit Camper Agent RV Supercentre Parafield Gardens to find the perfect RV to start your adventure.
OTR coffee combos are now in store, making your life easy at $6 for a quality barista-made regular coffee and a Krispy Kreme original glazed donut. Just how you like it. Only at OTR. Making life easy. T's and C's apply.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA. Always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
Good afternoon to you. It's 9 minutes past 3. We are now live on the Facebook and YouTube live stream, so jump on and say hi. It's Thursday, the 6th of March, and for this month, you can buy a virtual boot for Operation Flinders. Show your generous support today. Search operationflinders.org, and I'll be broadcasting live from the new home of Operation Flinders in Richmond tomorrow. So do make sure you're listening from 1 p.m. I'm going to be telling you all about the amazing work that Operation Flinders does, and you'll hear from its chairman, Police Commissioner Grant Stevens, as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to getting down there myself and seeing how it all works from the inside, and I'll be able to bring all of that to you. But at 10 minutes past 3 here on 5AA, there's been some research done into whether or not there's a correlation with poorer academic results and skipping breakfast. Let's talk through the results of this research. And Tess Gregory joins you now, the Associate Professor at the Kids Research Institute. Good afternoon, Tess.
Hi, Stacey.
Thanks for your time today. So how many students did you survey for this study?
So we used some data that was collected by the Department for Education, and it was on about 30,000 South Australian students.
Okay, and did you say all around the country or South Australian?
They were South Australian students, so they were about 30,000 kids from 450 schools across the state.
Okay, and then what did you find?
So through the Department for Education records, they were able to link the information about whether kids were skipping breakfast or not onto the NAP plan results. They sat a couple of months later. And what we found was that about a third of kids were eating breakfast every day. But there was a group of kids, about 10% of kids, who said they never ate breakfast. And we found those kids who never ate breakfast had much higher risk of poor NAP plan results. So they were about 2 times higher risk of poor NAP plan results compared to their peers who were eating breakfast every day.
That's a huge amount. That's a big chunk of the surveyed students who had poorer results.
Yeah, about 3,000 kids coming to school every day not eating breakfast.
Wow. And did we find out the reasons why they weren't eating breakfast?
We didn't ask that in our survey, but it is a really important question. What we did find was that kids from more socioeconomically disadvantaged communities were much more likely to be skipping breakfast. So we certainly think that for a lot of families, food insecurity and the cost of living crisis is a major factor as to why these kids aren't eating breakfast.
Yeah, and I can imagine with the cost of living at the moment for so many families, it's getting worse. I mean, I'm sure there aren't any families out there who want to be sending their kids off to school without breakfast.
No, that's right. Yeah, I agree. I think that probably the prevalence of breakfast skipping is only increasing over the last couple of years.
And so I guess what can we take out of this? Breakfast it's not only good for your body, but it's good for your brain too.
Absolutely. I mean, we all know what it's like when you're hungry and you can't concentrate. So it makes sense that for young children coming to school without having breakfast, it's going to be really hard for them to pay attention to what they're trying to learn in the classroom and to regulate their emotions and really make the most of their learning opportunities. So, I would say to parents, if you can get your kids to eat breakfast, do your best to do so. We know that it's challenging. But our research suggests that if you can get your kids to eat breakfast sometimes, that's better than never eating breakfast for their academic outcomes.
And have you looked into, or do you have any recommendations about what type of breakfast would be the best option for kids before they're heading off to school?
That's a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but certainly if you can feed kids, a healthy, nutritious breakfast, that's going to be better for them than, eating some sugary cereal, for example. But that wasn't actually part of our study.
But do you have any recommendations yourself or ideas of just maybe something easy for people?
Yeah, so I mean, fruit's always a good one. Yogurt, multigrain or whole grain bread is a good thing to give kids before they go to school.
Yeah,
toast, I should say.
Yeah, bread, toast. Yeah, as long as they're eating something, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I know that there are a few programs available out there, whether or not they're government supported, but there are charities out there who do take breakfast to school and try and make sure that kids are eating breakfast if they're not getting it at home. I guess, does the results of the study support the growing need for programs like that?
Absolutely. We think that particularly those families who aren't able to give their kids breakfast because of that food insecurity, those school breakfast programs are really essential, and they're likely to address, the reasons why those children are skipping. So we're really committed to working with government around the, continued funding and implementation of school breakfast programs to ensure that more kids are eating breakfast before they start school and go into the classroom to learn.
Does this confirm the old saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, or do you think lunch and dinner are just as important? It's just that this study looked specifically at breakfast.
Yeah, I don't think we could conclude from this that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But yeah, it gives kids a good start to the day if they can eat some breakfast before they get to school.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I appreciate your insights this afternoon, Tess. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Stacey.
Co-author of the study, Tess Gregory, there from the Kids Institute. And it got me thinking. I know that whenever we talk about different food options and your recommendations, you always deliver. So I thought if there are any parents or grandparents or carers out there listening and you've got recommendations on good breakfasts, either for you or your kids or grandkids, give us a call. I've got tickets to give away. Best caller will get a double pass to go and see Hans at Gluttony at the Fringe this year. Hans is performing Hans Young, Fun and 21, although I think that might be false advertising because Hans is definitely older than 21. But anyway, the show's called Hans Young, Fun and 21, and I've got a double pass to give away this afternoon. What is your breakfast recommendation? I was talking to Graham Goodings earlier and he says he is, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's grumpy if he doesn't eat breakfast. If he hasn't had breakfast within 5 minutes of waking up, don't go near him. So what is it that you like to eat? Len has already sent a text, 0448081395. I like shakshuka for breakfast, which is eggs poached in a rich, spicy tomato and pepper sauce, best served on homemade crumpets. Yum! Len, I feel like I'd eat that for dinner. That sounds good. I do love a crumpet. Oh, I got some good crumpets at the Central Markets last week. Good local South Australian company, Craters Crumpets, and they're big and fluffy and fresh and oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. That's a great recommendation, Len. What's your recommendation? I've changed my breakfast lately. I like to change it up because I get bored quite easily, and if I eat the same thing every day, then I don't want to eat it anymore. I was doing my oats over summer with yogurt and I'd put a little bit of maple syrup on top and then some sort of berry situation, either frozen or fresh. But at the moment I've moved on to chia puddings. I've moved on to the chia seeds with some coconut milk in there and I leave them sit in the fridge overnight and then in the morning add some fruit and add a little bit of yogurt. And I'm really enjoying that right now. It's got lots of fibre as well. So what do you like to eat for breakfast? 8223 0000. Tickets to Hans to give away to the best caller. Nancy in Findon has called in. Hi, Nancy.
Hello there. A favourite breakfast of mine, and I have it almost every morning, and my grandchildren absolutely love it, wholemeal crumpet, and I spread it with La Casa del Formaggio ricotta. I liberally spread it. And open up a beautiful fresh fig on top. It is to die for. And when you don't have figs, I buy the caramelised fig jam. The kids love it.
Oh, yum.
It is yum.
Nancy, you're speaking my language. Oh, ricotta and fig.
It is absolutely beautiful.
Oh, that is making my mouth water. That sounds great.
It's great, yeah. All good.
Very lucky grandkids there.
They love it. As soon as they walk in the house, it's Nonna, can we have a crumpet with ricotta and the fig?
And the fig. And don't forget the fig. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for the call.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Nancy in Findon. What about you? Helen on the text line says a short black, that's it. And then this person. There's no name on your text. Send me another message with your name. This is funny. Lol, a Greek coffee and a cigarette. I have some uncles, and some aunties for that matter, who probably have the exact same breakfast. Keep your suggestions coming. 8223 0000 is the number to call. I've got Hans tickets to give away. Double pass for the best call.
Discover the joy of family connection in the 7-seat hybrid Mazda CX-80. Now yours from a great drive-away price of $59,990 for the CX-80 G40E Pure. Enjoy 3 spacious rows, hybrid efficiency, and the reassurance of driving ANCAP's safest large SUV of 2024. Visit your local dealer to test drive the Mazda CX-80 today. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. See Mazda.com.au for details.
They say 20,000 hours in any field makes you master of it. So imagine what 160 years makes you. For more than 160 years, Anglicare SA has supported South Australians in need. Whether it's gardening, meal prep, housework or transport to appointments, Anglicare SA gives seniors as much or as little support as they need. For more on Anglicare SA's coordination and clinical services, Visit anglicaresa.com.au.
Go Harvey Norman for hot deals store-wide. Save a super 40% off Samsung 8K TVs. That's right, 40% off Samsung 8K TVs in store and online while stocks last. Save on big brand computers with up to 20% off Acer and Lenovo laptops, desktops and all-in-ones. And save on Australian-made bedding with big brand mattress floor stock price to clear. Plus, get bonus standard local delivery on selected mattresses over $9.99. Go Harvey Norman. Best brands, best range, best prices guaranteed. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Discover outdoor living dreams you can touch at Stratco. Feel that fence, peruse that patio and shut that shed. Come in, see our displays and get expert advice on your next outdoor home improvement project. And for a limited time, get 20% off Stratco garages. Terms and conditions apply. So get into your local Stratco now and head into the new Stratco Richmond showroom at 249 Richmond Road, Richmond. However you bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
Hi, I'm Piper, a registered nurse at the Women's and Children's Hospital. Our health system is getting a lot bigger. We're getting more people, and there's upgrades to hospitals like new emergency departments. Heaps of new beds are already open, but there's more on the way, so you can get the right care when you need it. It's all part of building a bigger health system. To find out what's happening near you, visit biggerhealthsystem.sa.gov.au.
A message from the Government of South Australia.
5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
22 minutes past 3 here on 5AA. We're talking breakfast. Not the Brekkie Show with Dave and Will. We're talking what do you eat for breakfast? Because there's been a study done by the Kids Institute which shows that kids who skip breakfast have poorer NAPLAN results, which is disappointing news. So we're sharing our ideas this afternoon. What do you like to eat? 8223 0000. I've got a Hans double pass to give away to the best caller this half hour. And Tracy is in Anguston. Good afternoon, Tracy.
Oh, good afternoon.
What do you like to eat?
Well, this may be right up Hans's alley.
I don't want to know what's up there, to be honest. But
Jagerbraten.
Oh.
Which is stuffed pork belly. You slice it about 5 mil thick. You can eat it already because it's smoked and cooked, but you refry it, poached egg on top, black pepper on a caraway rye bread. It is amazing.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It is.
Do you make your Jagerbraten or where do you buy it?
Well, we actually do up at the Barossa Anguston Smokehouse.
Oh, yummy.
So there you go.
Oh, I'll have
Give
to
it a try.
I'll have
Come
to come
see
and
me,
visit.
buy some.
Yeah, sounds good, Tracy. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
bye.
See you. It's
Bye.
Tracy in Anguston. Let's go to Mary in Theberton. Hi, Mary.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Still have it to this day. I was born and bred on it. It's the egg yolk. You beat it up with some sugar. You add your coffee and your hot milk. And it's the Italian version of Up and Go.
Really?
Yep. And when we were young, we actually had some masala before we went to school with it. So we went to school drunk. And that's every Italian that you talk to, especially in the south of Italy, that's what they had for breakfast. And I still have it to this day. So I get my protein, my calcium, my sugar, and my hit of coffee.
You get it all. Can I ask what's probably a silly question?
Yep.
With the egg yolk in there and the coffee and the hot milk, does the egg not cook or does it just thicken the coffee up a bit?
No, because you beat it with the sugar first, so you froth it all up, and then you put the hot milk and the coffee in there, and it's like a cappuccino all frothy on the top, and it's my Up and Go.
There you go. Oh, I love it, Mary. Thank you. I wouldn't recommend putting the alcohol in it for kids these days.
Definitely not, but it was okay in the 60s and 70s.
There was a lot that was okay in the 60s and 70s, I think. I love
Definitely.
it. Thank you. That's Mary in Theberton. Let's go to North Haven. Hello, Warren.
Oh, hi, Stacey. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good.
I was going to say this evening, but it's not. How are you today?
Yes,
How
good.
are you today?
Good,
Yeah,
I'm good.
The problem I see, look, what these people are suggesting sound absolutely yum, don't they? Like, you're filling up on the listening. The thing I find is the breakfast is the meal that we all need, but we don't have time to have, because that's your busiest time of the day, the morning. You get up, you run around, you do this, do that. So just keep it simple. Have a little tub of yogurt in the fridge and grab some fruit on your way out. It's on the way out. At least you're getting something in you.
Yes.
Like we've all got no time in the morning, because you get up, especially the kids now. They're up till 1 o'clock in the morning on the socials, and they get up 5 minutes before they leave home. So if they could just go to the fridge or go somewhere and grab one piece of fruit, one little tub of yogurt. You can buy those small tubs of yogurt. Perfect. And at least they're getting something then.
Something. It's a really good idea. That's why I do my little overnight chia pudding, because if I don't prepare it overnight, then I'm not eating it the next day.
No, because it's too hard in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or too hard when you first wake up, because you've got very, very, very limited time.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Warren. I love it. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. That's Warren in North Haven, getting a couple of text messages through as well. Mike in Parafield Gardens says it's got to be a Bond breakfast. Green figs, yogurt and black coffee. All these figs. Beautiful. I love figs. And they're in season at the moment, so I'm definitely making the most of that. And Karen says on the text line, during the week I have fruit, strawberries, blueberries and nectarines while they're in season cut up, and on weekends smashed avo on toast. Yummy. And Rob says thick cut sourdough toast with green tomato relish and fresh cooked corned beef or leg ham. Oh, amazing. And I just have a text here from a friend, a Greek friend, who says there's a cafe in Nafplio that has it on the menu, Greek breakfast, coffee and cigarettes. I like that. That was Costa in Flinders Park who sent me that recommendation earlier. I love the idea of going to a cafe and ordering a coffee and a cigarette. Only in Greece. Only in Greece. Oh, some great recommendations there. I think today the Hans tickets have to go to Nancy in Findon. Makes wholemeal crumpets with ricotta and figs on top for her grandkids. So congratulations, Nancy in Findon. You've won the tickets for you and a friend to go and see Hans, Young, Fun and 21 at the Flamingo at Gluttony in Rymel Park, home of the biggest shows this fringe. Tickets at gluttony.net.au. Well done. And Costa in Flinders Park. You're getting an honorary mention. You're getting a Wallace Sitters family pass. The Greek coffee and a cigarette. Wouldn't recommend it. I'm not sure the SA Health would be recommending that either. But it's realistic for a lot of people, especially a lot of my family members. All right. It's coming up to 3:30 rather. That means it's almost time for news headlines. And then after that, speaking of fringe, you're going to hear from Dr. Jo Prendergast. She's got a show at this year's Fringe, and it's called Cancer and Cartwheels. It's a comedy show. It might not sound like a comedy show when you look at the name of it, but she's combining the different aspects of her life. She's a breast cancer survivor, she's a comedian, and she's a psychologist. So she uses comedy to talk about one of the most traumatic moments in her life, and that's being diagnosed with breast cancer and then going through treatment and recovery. And I think for so many Australians, it's how we deal with hard times. We deal with it through humour. So I'm really excited to talk to Jo Prendergast after these news headlines.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A Yatala inmate has been taken to hospital after a fight between prisoners. Tropical cyclone Alfred is expected to cross the Queensland coast very early Saturday morning as the system slows. A South Korean fighter jet has accidentally dropped 8 bombs on a civilian area during training, reportedly injuring 7 people. And in sport, there are tributes for Australian tennis legend Fred Stolle after his death at 86. The 5AA forecast, cloud clearing this afternoon, sunny tomorrow 33. Right now it's 27 degrees. We'll have more news at 4 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The Australian Government's Future Made in Australia plan will create a stronger economy by making more things across our country. We'll make more of Australia's natural advantages and turn critical minerals into cleaner energy. We're investing in you to learn new skills and in manufacturing and technology to create well-paid jobs and a more secure future for everyone. That's a future made in Australia. To find out more about the plan, search Future Made in Australia. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Hi, it's Wayne from Wayne Phillips Isuzu Ute. If you're in the market for a new ute or SUV, then you can't go past the award-winning Isuzu D-Max or MUX. Visit our showroom at Ranella to see our range of new and demonstrator vehicles and take one for a decent test drive. If you already own an Isuzu ute, book it in for a service into our new state-of-the-art service centre at Lonsdale. Mention this ad and you'll get a free car wash with your service. For everything Isuzu Ute, think Wayne Phillips Isuzu Ute.
The Gas Shop has the longest fireplace in Adelaide. There is literally a wall of gas fire heaters from all the best brands. And they're all fired up, so you can see how good they look and feel their incredible warmth. Plus, for a limited time, there's a range of rebates available from Australian gas networks. Heating, cooking, comfort. Turn on to the Gas Shop, 161 Unley Road, opposite Target.
So, you're buying a home, or maybe you're building a home. Then you're going to need a building inspector. Voted best inspection company, Jim's Building Inspections is the name you can trust. And here's why.
Jim's did a full set of inspections to make sure our new build was up to scratch. They were thorough, and I had my report within 24 hours.
A Jim's Building Inspection is your guarantee that you're buying quality. Visit jimsbuildinginspectionsadelaide.com.au.
Are you or someone you know living with epilepsy? 1 in 25 Australians will develop epilepsy at some stage in their lives. The Epilepsy Centre in Adelaide is dedicated to raising awareness in the community to reduce the stigma and create a more welcoming and inclusive society. We do this by providing epilepsy awareness and seizure first aid to people living with epilepsy, their families and friends. Thanks to state government funding, we can offer this education at no cost. For more information, go to epilepsycentre.org.au.
Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of impeccable class and style offer a range of suits by leading Italian brands, including tailor-made suits using the finest Italian fabrics from Zegna, Canali, Zignoni, Holland & Sherry, along with many more. Special occasions or business, stand out in a tailor-made suit by Ignition for Men. Best fit, best brands. Call into 54 Paynham Road, Stepney, or visit ignitionformen.com.au.
Always local. 5AA. Always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
We've been featuring some of the great shows that are on this fringe, and I'm very excited to talk about this one. Sometimes it's the name that gets you, and it was that case for me when I saw Cancer and Cartwheels show being performed at the Monocle, at the Howling Owl. And Dr. Jo Prendergast is a psychiatrist and an award-winning comedian. She joins you now. Good afternoon, Dr. Prendergast.
Hello, lovely to talk to you, Stacey.
You too. Thank you so much for your time. As I said, the name of the show got me, Cancer and Cartwheels. What can people expect?
Yeah, well, it was a name that I came up with during my breast cancer treatment in 2021. The cancer being fairly obvious because I'd been diagnosed with breast cancer, and the cartwheels related to attempting to do a cartwheel, which had always been my superpower since childhood. I tried to do one at the end of my cancer treatment, and looked like I was a 3-year-old with 90-year-old joints trying to do a cartwheel. And so I decided that cartwheels were going to be a symbol of my recovery from breast cancer, and also a bit of a metaphor for the whole chaos whirl that you get thrown into when you get a cancer diagnosis.
Which I think is something that so many people can relate to, whether they've personally been dealing with it or have a family member or a close friend.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was diagnosed, just so many people I knew sort of came out of the woodwork and said, oh yeah, I had breast cancer too, or I've just been diagnosed with this. And yeah, it's just, I think it's the stats are 1 in 7 women and some men get diagnosed with breast cancer, so it is very high odds.
Yeah. And so what can people expect when they come to the show? Is it more of a talk, or do you, obviously being a comedian as well?
Definitely a comedy show, and probably about the hardest topic that you can do a comedy show on, I think, in terms of... and so I basically wrote the show when I was going through cancer treatment. In a lot of ways, it was a coping mechanism. Like the night before my surgery, I started writing comedy about it being an unwanted squatter kind of living in my boob, and it was eviction day tomorrow. And, so it was very much kind of a coping mechanism. And after my surgery, I had a perky B cup on the surgery side and a semi-flaccid D on my kind of unaffected side. And so I went, it's like a millennial boob and a boomer boob. And so then that kind of turned into a skit of the generation wars going on in my bra. And so it's very much based on my own personal experiences. So I'm definitely not saying cancer's funny. It's just, like I've got asymmetrical boobs. What could be funny about that? It's a devastating thing, but kind of is there a funny side to that we can kind of talk about that in a way that we can laugh and learn at the same time?
And I think there's something to that. We all deal with trauma and hard times in different ways. And for a lot of people, humour is the way they deal in those situations.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's sort of black comedy where something awful's happening, but you kind of find something that you can have a laugh about. As a psychiatrist, kind of humour is regarded as a very mature coping mechanism to kind of find the funny side of things. So it is kind of a healthy way, and you release endorphins that make you feel better when you laugh. So there's lots of good reasons to try and find some laughter even in the darkest times you're going through.
Oh, it sounds like a really poignant and funny show to come along and see.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty much everybody who comes along says, oh, it was really funny, but I also learned heaps, and as a doctor-comedian combo, it very much is important for me now to do meaningful comedy where there are kind of important things talked about and people can sort of learn important things as well. So definitely a case of coming along and having a fun time, but hopefully going away sort of thinking about a few things or having kind of learnt about things. So and I'm also doing it as a fundraiser for Breast Cancer Network Australia. So I'm sort of going Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane through the comedy festivals and fundraising for BCNA as part of that tour. So very much wanting to sort of give back to people who are affected by breast cancer and the support networks around them. So,
that's so good.
I sort of feel that if even one person finds their cancer earlier or finds a different way to kind of cope with what they're dealing with, then it's worthwhile. And actually a friend of my sister's came to my show when I did it at New Zealand Comedy Fest last year, went home, checked their boobs, found breast cancer. And so you don't really expect that you can sort of potentially be saving lives through being a comedian, but I think on this particular topic there's certainly potential for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And well, it sounds like that's already happened. And
yeah. So that kind of was a really I think the show's worthwhile to kind of know that already somebody had kind of found cancer earlier just by increasing awareness of coming to a comedy show, and that was a way that the kind of message got through more than all the campaigning that's kind of around through various cancer charities and things.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so good to hear. And it's been, how long has it been since you were in Adelaide, of course, being from New Zealand?
Yeah, so I was here in 2023. I brought my show, The Cool Mum, to Adelaide Fringe, which was, again, a coping mechanism for parenting teenagers. I turned that into a comedy show. So it does seem to be my go-to kind of when something difficult happens in life to write comedy about it. And had a wonderful sold-out season of The Cool Mum at Adelaide Fringe in 2023. I did the show under a sort of character of Joe Garsley then, so people might kind of remember Joe Garsley, the cool mum, if they came along to the show. So doing it as Dr. Joe Prendergast now, so with my kind of real name, with a sort of very authentic, telling my personal story and kind of the fact that I am a doctor. I'm sort of leaning into that more now rather than having that separate from my comedy.
Well, it sounds like it's already resonating with so many people because you're doing 5 shows next week, Tuesday the 11th of March until Saturday the 15th of March at 6:30 p.m, but a couple of them are already sold out. So if you're interested in coming...
the first 2 nights are sold out. So if people are keen to come, they do need to kind of get a move on and get tickets because, they do seem to be selling fast, which is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can get your tickets at fringetix.com. And Joe, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a really interesting chat. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, nice to talk to you, Stacey.
That's Dr. Joe Prendergast and her show on at the Fringe this year, Cancer and Cartwheels. And as I say, it's on from the 11th of March until the 15th at 6:30 p.m. at the Monocle at the Howling Owl. At 18 minutes to 4 here on 5AA, I'm still enjoying your text messages coming through on what you like to eat for breakfast. And Helen sent me an update. She said she just has a short black and then said, I should have owned up that with the short black I do have a cigarette. Now I'm getting all these confessions from all of you secret smokers out there, and maybe not so secret. Look, I wouldn't encourage it. I'm not sure SAL encourages it either, but you're giving me a giggle this afternoon, so thank you for that. Now, very soon we're going to cross to Queensland. We'll talk to someone on the ground while Tropical Cyclone Alfred has slowed. He's now expected to cross the coast tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Queensland authorities are giving an update right now as we speak. The Premier, David Crisafulli, is holding another press conference with emergency service leaders. And we also heard from the acting mayor on the Gold Coast, Donna Gates, earlier, who was encouraging people to stay away from the coast because as well as the winds and the rain that are coming with the cyclone, there's also really high tides at the moment.
The city has experienced some escarpment already, 0.5 to 2.5 metres in some locations, with surface to narrow neck being the worst affected. There is a chance that the beach will be undermined, and for all those people who are going down to the beach and standing on the rock walls or on the sand, please stay away. We've been in touch with the police today. There's been some really foolish behaviour, and it's so important that people stay away from the beach. We have been declared a disaster zone. That enables the police to take action, and anyone performing a reckless action can actually be fined up to $16,100. It's a significant fine, and I hope that we make that widely publicised, and it's really in an effort to keep people who are a bit stupid safe.
It is a significant fine, $16,000, but as you can imagine, with authorities doing everything they can to warn people about the weather that's coming, you would have to be, in Donna Gates's words, pretty stupid to go and stand on the coast and watch the tide come in. Not really any other, well, there are other words I want to use, none that I can use on the radio, but stick with stupid, shall we? So that was the acting mayor of the Gold Coast, Donna Gates there. We'll keep you updated throughout the afternoon and bringing you a little bit of breaking news from Adelaide. Emergency services are at the scene of a serious crash in the CBD. Police said they responded to a crash between a cyclist and a truck on Halifax Street. road closures are in place and motorists are asked to avoid the area and follow local directions or find an alternate route. And now it happened just after midday, so hopefully it'll be cleared for the afternoon drive home, the evening peak hour, but hopefully, as I say, hopefully it'll be cleared for that. But they are asking for anyone who witnessed the crash to come forward, or anyone who may have been driving in that area who has dashcam footage of the incident, to call police on 131 444. So it was around midday, a crash between a cyclist and a truck on Halifax Street. And as I say, we'll bring you updated throughout the afternoon as well.
James Blunt is returning for his 2025 Australian Back to Bedlam tour. After a sold-out national tour in 2024, James Blunt returns to AEC Arena on Tuesday the 28th of October for one incredible night. Want to be there? Keep it on 5AA for your chance to win tickets, or grab yours now at destroyalllines.com. James Blunt, Back to Bedlam 2025 Australian Tour, proudly presented by 5AA, always Adelaide.
You could win the tour of a lifetime thanks to The Advertiser and Inspiring Vacations. Buy the paper, find the daily code word and enter at winwithnews.com.au. Plus, get a $100 voucher for entering. Conditions apply. T242098.
Ready for a fresh start in a location you love? Speak with Rossdale Homes. At Rossdale, we specialise in knockdown rebuilds, giving you a brand new home at your favourite address. Whether it's a single story, two-story or split-level design, we'll custom build a home that fits your style, needs and budget. And with our fixed price contracts, you'll have complete peace of mind from start to finish. Rossdale Homes, your local SA builder, because trust is a must.
One fall, one moment could change everything. Alone and unable to call for help, what happens next? Your loved ones shouldn't have to face that terrifying question. Care Alert's personal alert system is here to provide peace of mind and a lifeline when seconds matter most. Don't wait for the unthinkable to happen. Call 1300 75 85 95 or visit carealert.com.au today. Care Alert, because every moment counts.
After 34 years, Operation Flinders Foundation has their very own metro location in Richmond. The new space will allow Operation Flinders to expand their impact, strengthen programs and continue supporting young people on their journey to a brighter future. But they can't do it without your continued support. So buy a virtual boot this March for Operation Flinders, with 100% of the funds going towards creating a dream future for the foundation. Small boots contribute $150, medium boots are $300, and large boots contribute a generous $500 to the cause. Your generous contribution will be displayed as a permanent record in their new home. Now, the boots may be virtual, but the impact is real. So show your generous support today by searching operationflinders.org.
Kangaroo Island. It's best enjoyed getting up close to nature, escaping with friends, enjoying the serenity and celebrating milestones together. Unpretentious, unexpected, untamed. Experience Kangaroo Island unfiltered. Book your self-drive getaway now at sealink.com.au.
If I say the word instant, are you thinking coffee or scratchies? If gambling's never far from your thoughts, or you're often looking forward to your next bet, you could be showing the early signs of gambling harm. But if you spot the harm, you can stop the harm. Visit gamblingharmsupport.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Start your caravan or motorhome journey with confidence at Camper Agent RV Supercentre. For a limited time, we're offering massive savings and 3-year extended warranty on eligible pre-owned motorhomes from Kia and Talbot. There's also great savings across our huge range of brands, including Winnebago, Windsor, Corrimal and Adria. Make 2025 your best year ever. Visit Camper Agent RV Supercentre Parafield Gardens to find the perfect RV to start your adventure.
Hello, Cherry.
I'm listening. It's time to celebrate because it's Cherry's second birthday in Australia. Get amazing plate clearance bonuses across the entire Cherry range at Southern Cherry Morford Vale. T's and C's apply.
Macular degeneration is Australia's leading cause of blindness. If you're over 50, have an eye test and macular check. Early detection is vital. You can have the very early signs without even knowing. Information, guidance and support is only a phone call away. Call the Macular Disease Foundation on 1800 111 709 for a free macular degeneration information kit.
5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
10 minutes to 4 here on 5AA. Well, we've been bringing you updates on Tropical Cyclone Alfred throughout the afternoon, and there's just been another update from emergency services there. Let's go live to the ground though. Max Futcher is a reporter with 7 News and is on the ground in the Gold Coast. Hi, Max.
G'day, Stacey. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. What's it like where you are at the moment?
Well, it's wet and it's starting to get wilder by the hour. This is a pretty substantial weather event that stretches over a long area from Noosa to the north, right down past the New South Wales border. So it's over a really broad area. At the moment, the cyclone Alfred is, they say, 240 kilometres east of Brisbane, moving in a westerly direction at about 7 kilometres an hour. It's really slowed up overnight. And they're saying that it could make landfall late Friday, early Saturday at this stage.
Yeah, and I guess because of that rain and the wind starting to pick up, the SES has already had a few hundred calls for help.
Yeah, not surprising really. Earlier this morning, we're in one of those famous high-rises on the Gold Coast, which I'm sure everyone knows when they come on holidays here. We're in one of those high-rises on the beachfront, and about 10 o'clock, I think it was, we heard this loud crash. It sounded like thunder. Then we looked at each other and thought, actually, that sounded like something had hit the building. When we went out and looked down, there was a pile of rubble and twisted metal in the car park. And we found out that a large piece of concrete fascia on the 16th floor had broken off in these high winds and crashed down below. Now, thankfully, there was no cars, no people down below at the time. But it just shows you that even with the cyclone that far offshore, they were getting these powerful squalls coming through, and these powerful gusts are capable of doing extraordinary damage. So imagine what it's going to be like when we have sustained Category 2 winds of about 90 kilometres an hour, gusting up to about 150 kilometres an hour, and they're sustained for like 10, 12 hours or longer.
Oh, gosh, I can't even imagine. And yeah, now that you point out all the high-rises on the Gold Coast, is that a concern for people?
The authorities say that any houses, anyway, built after 1980 should be able to withstand sustained winds, sustained high-end cyclonic winds of a high-end Category 2. So they learned a lot of lessons from Cyclone Tracy, and so that brought in a lot of new wind standards. But really we're in uncharted territory. A lot of it comes down to how well places have been maintained, as I've found in cyclones when we usually cover them in far north Queensland. It only takes a few weakened roof screws and the wind finds a way in and peels the roof back. So we're pretty much in uncharted territory. I'm used to covering cyclones in Cairns, Townsville, far north tropical Queensland. I never expected to see one to come ashore in a metropolitan area like the Gold Coast, or indeed they're saying the eye could go over Brisbane. So, it's really untested. The last time the cyclone came ashore here was 1970. The big cyclone everyone talks about on the Gold Coast is the Great Cyclone of 1954, but back then there was only 37,000 population on the Gold Coast. Now there's 600,000. And that's before you take in the 4 million people across the catchment that's expected to be affected.
Oh, gosh. Well, as I keep saying, we're all thinking of you from down here in Adelaide, and yeah, we're hoping for the best and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, well, they made it tough stuff in Queensland, so I reckon we'll be right.
Good on you, Max. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Max Futcher on the ground on the Gold Coast and reporting for 7 News. Now, just a reminder that I'll be broadcasting tomorrow live from Operation Flinders at their new home in Richmond. And for the month of March, you can purchase a virtual boot. So show your generous support and search operationflinders.org to find out the details. They do some great work there, and I'll be telling you all about it tomorrow when I'm there from 1 p.m. So make sure you're listening. I'll be joined by Chairman, Police Commissioner Grant Stevens. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm also really looking forward to the sports show after 4 o'clock. And Timmy G's in the studio now. Hello, Timmy.
Hi, Stacey, and I can confirm that that's true because you hang around for the whole 3 hours afterwards. I like that. You sit there and you listen to the sports show and just are absolutely engrossed by it, which is great.
You get all my annoying text messages because I'm interacting.
Yes, you are very
I haven't
interactive.
called yet because I thought it might be inappropriate. I have enough time.
Yeah. And we'll recognise your voice. We have got a big show. We're discussing lots of things. We've got Brian Taylor on the show. We've got Jude Bolton, Swans legend, on the show. We've got then we're going to be covering off the SNFL, previewing their seasons, and we've got one of their coaches on, Adam Hartlett from West Adelaide, so he's on as well. But Rowie is there's been a little bit of media. Hawthorn did a little documentary. Now, I'm not always a fan of clubs doing the inside the inner sanctum type ones, type docos, but Hawthorn have released one, and there's just a little snippet there of Sam Mitchell not being happy at training, and he comes out and he tells the coaches what he wants and all the rest of it, and he said, I don't like him looking tired, and he gives them a bit of a what's for. So as Rowie describes it, a bit of cold baked beans out the can, as I describe it. It's a good old-fashioned rip. So we're going to just be asking, when did you get one, and who gave it to you? So, yes, looking forward to the stories that come from that. But and is there any room for it these days? Well, maybe now and again.
Surely.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah.
Coaches get frustrated and all the rest of it. But sometimes it's about tone. And I think the tone sometimes is about, I'm not accepting this and this is not good enough. And by the way, bang. And you put that message on them.
Yeah.
And it's not personal.
No.
It's not
as long
attacking
as it
you
doesn't get
individually.
personal.
And that's right. And I think a lot of probably 70s, and we'll play a few examples of old style rips that just are classic personal stuff. And so we'll have a bit of fun with that as well.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Sounds like fun. I'll be listening intently, as I know you will. Rowie and Timmy G on after the 4 o'clock news. Thank you so much for your calls and your texts today. And as I say, I will be with you tomorrow from 1 o'clock from the new home of Operation Flinders.
Coming up next, Adelaide's only local sport show. It's the very latest in sport, live from Adelaide. Enjoy the